Hi, welcome to the Live, Love, Laugh Lives with myself, Cheryl Chapman, where I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, incredible enlightened souls, employees, employers, entrepreneurs, anybody who wants to be able to live, love and laugh every single day. And today I am joined by an incredible, amazing woman. She has got such a zest for life. I mean, I know when you see her, you're thinking, I know she's not very colourful. But you are wrong. Let me just tell you this now, because she is like a ray of sunshine wherever she goes. So energetic, and yet beneath that colourful front, there is a sad story behind there. Because would you agree with me that a lot of sad stories always have a happy ending? We'll talk a little bit more about that, but that sounds a bit rude. But anyway, first of all, I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and tell us what she does. Drum roll. Who are you?
I am Jaqui Barnes-Monaghan, and I am Queen Bee at the Bee Academy, which is a hive of learning and fun.
I love it, love it, love it. And obviously you're a very colourful character.
Yeah.
A few hair colours while we've been working together. But it's not just about who you are. Of course, that's very, very important, being the Queen Bee, because there's only one Queen Bee in the hive, isn't there? So tell us what you do and why it is that you created the hive.
Well, I'm a social care professional of just under 30 years experience, from frontline to senior manager. So I've done all those jobs that people might associate with social care, and with lots of different groups of people. So I came out of working for a housing association as a training manager, which I've been doing training now since around 2004. And I've also trained as a coach, as an NLP practitioner, hypnotist, and various other little nuggets that sort of give me more experience, I suppose, and insight.
Yeah, and sort of tools in the toolkit.
Yeah.
And so I know that you have an absolute passion for what you do, and I know that I heard you talk recently, and you were talking about how you had a brilliant family, you were brought up really, really well, but something happened where other people decided on your destiny. Do you want to just share what happened there?
Well, I was, as you can tell, Cheryl, I am very old. And in 1975, when I was just 16, I got pregnant. Inadvertently, of course. And this meant that, as my school had only been a grammar school a year before, that they expelled me for bringing the whole school into disrepute.
Wow. Did they all get you pregnant?
School. Well, it does make you wonder, but that school has since been knocked down, and I'm happy to take full credit.
Even if you didn't get the sledgehammer yourself. Yeah. And so okay, so you're 16, you've got pregnant. Mm-hmm. It's not that you were promiscuous at all, I know, because we've talked about this. It was literally, you were, anyway. So one time, and there you go, you're pregnant. Your mum and dad are saying you can do whatever you want to do. So you chose to have your baby, didn't you?
I did. Not until the last minute. It was so confusing and difficult, because I was in a mother and baby unit of my own choice, which was actively encouraging me to give my baby up, telling me that, my baby would have a better life, and, I'd have a better life, and all of this sort of thing. So right up until she was born. And then the minute she was born, I knew that she was staying with me, yeah.
And the teachers at the school, what sort of things had they said to you when you got pregnant?
Oh, that I'd ruined any chance I had of a career, that I'd amount to nothing, the usual sort of encouraging things that teachers used to say in those days.
And I know that you were talking about how you'd been sort of bullied at school because, you were a bit short, you've got like probably half an inch of fat on you or something, and of course you wore glasses, which is the specky, whatever it was that we used to get called in the day.
Oh, yes. And I always find it interesting that bullies haven't got haven't broadened their vocabulary, and I hear the same names that I was called being used today, and I think, dear oh dear, you really need to brush up.
So this episode happened to you. You got your beautiful daughter, but because of those things that they'd said to you, you'll never amount to anything, you'll never do anything. You then spent a number of years going into sort of entry jobs. Yeah. Yeah. What kind of things were you doing there?
Oh gosh, my first job was in a sewing factory, in a uniform factory. And after my training, I used to do the waistband and flies on policemen's trousers.
So if they said anything you say will be taken down, you probably said, I know what they're talking about there. Flies, isn't it?
Yeah, if it comes down, it's my fault.
And so all these jobs that you're doing, and then so now, where you are now, you've got a passion for helping a particular age group and type of person. Who is it that you want to help?
Well, it's young people. I mean, I'm passionate about social care and what they achieve anyway. I think we have one of the most professional social care services possibly in the world, you know. It's still a vocation to work in social care. Nobody goes into it for the money because, you know, we're not paid what we're worth, like many in government offices, but we accept that because it's not money that drives us. It's going home knowing that something you did mattered to someone that day, no matter how small. So, you know, I care about it all, but more recently I've been working in supported employment, which has brought me into contact with a lot of young people who really just want an opportunity to show that they can turn up on time, that they can learn the job, that they can bring something to an organisation. And for whatever reason, I mean, for some of them are on the autism spectrum, so the way we traditionally do interviews is really difficult for them, and so they don't shine. And it's very hard to encourage employers to maybe look at doing things a bit differently.
And some of the kids that you know that have then gone on and gone into employment. I mean, you, of course, you know, you were a shining example. You did all these, you know, entry-level jobs, didn't you? And then somebody kind of had some faith in you, some belief in you. And where did that take you in terms of your career?
Oh, wow. Well, it took me from entry-level up to area manager and then training manager in charge of a huge budget. And I don't know, but I was still having many times when I thought, what on earth do I think I'm doing here? They're going to work it out soon.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, absolutely. And that was really hard to get over because what I thought about myself was so ingrained.
Yeah, from what I've been told to you before.
Yeah, and I'd also been through a violent relationship and a couple of controlling relationships, which all, you know, feed all the negativity in you.
Yeah. So let's say we've got some people who are watching now and they might want to either contribute to helping a younger person. Let's talk about how you help those younger people first then, so you're getting them back
Okay, well, I've created a 2-week intensive course that can take up to 12 young people at a time, aged 16 to 24. And the first week is the Ignition programme, which is a personal development programme for young people, which starts off with, I suppose it's not exactly psychometric testing, I know, personality profiling, I suppose. And it's all done as a journey, which is why it's called Ignition. So you start off finding out what sort of traveller you are. You might be an astronaut who's a person who's just got ideas flying out of every pore of their body. Or you might be, I'm a diplomat, So that means I'm the person who can go ahead and explain what's coming and what's going to happen and just keep everybody even and coping. Or all, you know, there are 8 altogether. And the first thing we do after that is we do a session on identity, which is one of my favourite things, because we encourage them to think about what other people in their life might say about them. So we say to them, so what sort of son or daughter are you? And they put that all down on a post-it note, put that aside, post-it note for each one. What sort of sister or brother are you? What sort of student are you? And we go through lots and lots of these, and then I say to them, right, I want you to look at all the ones you've got and sort them into negative and positive. And it's not failed us yet, but always there's at least 1 or 2 that are more positive than negative. So then I go around, I pick up all the negative ones and put them in the bin. And I say, we're not going to pretend that you're perfect. We're not going to pretend that you're not sometimes angry or hostile or whatever, but we're going to focus on the positive. Because when you focus on the negative stuff about anyone, it just brings them down. It just makes them feel bad about themselves. And so they feel less able to achieve. So then I give them a cutout of a human figure. And on there, they write in these things that they are. All these positive coloured pens and all of that. They stick that onto a larger piece of paper, and then they use all those things that they've discovered about themselves or realised about themselves to make a positive statement about who they are.
Brilliant. And how long does this take? Does this take 2 weeks, did you say?
Well, the identity bit takes half a day. But yeah, then it goes on over the first week. They look at luggage versus baggage, what their qualities, their values are. Because, you know, we know that in adolescence is when we start challenging our parents' values and questioning, are they my values as well? And so they're at the right time to start really working those out. And by the end of the week, they've looked at careers, how to interact with other people, how to ask the right questions, and they're ready then to prepare for work. And that's what the second week's about. So in the second week, they meet employers, they meet entrepreneurs, they do some interviewing of each other, and they get interviewed as well. They have a great CV by the end of the week, but also they've had a chance to dream, and to dream about what they really, really want in life. And we talk about being in flow, and I know that's a term that I've heard you use as well. And being in flow means, in terms of ignition anyway, that you're doing something that captivates you so much that hours can pass, but it feels like 5 minutes. Those sort of things, and we encourage them to think about where those things are. And I can use myself as an example. I love people. I very rarely meet someone I don't like. I like most people. I don't know how I do it really sometimes, but I do. I just love meeting people. I love being with them. I love finding out about them. So what else would I do for a living except this?
Yeah, except work with people, yeah.
So I'm using a natural talent and skill that gives me huge enjoyment to have a career. So sometimes it's not about whether you can use a screwdriver, but maybe you have a great ethic around customer service. Well, you can learn to use a screwdriver.
You've already got that
Yeah, but if you're a natural with customer service, then that's where you belong.
And are these courses that are done in person or are they online?
Well, they can be done either way. At the moment, I would prefer to do online, at least probably for the rest of this year.
Yeah. And are there any particular areas of the country where you want to do this? I mean, obviously, if it's online, it's a bit more flexible.
Yeah, online doesn't really matter, but in person, I'm based, as you know, in Snowdonia. So obviously, North Wales, Liverpool, Manchester, Chester. But really, I would travel to do it because it's just so important. The person who created the Ignition program, TJ Dow, her mission is to reach 1 million young people. And she's busy doing that. And I want to contribute towards that as well.
So, so obviously the young people, in theory, could come and say, yes, I want to invest in this. But the reality of it is, I think, I'm trying to remember from your talk, was there 684,000 children, young adults that are in part of the what you call the NEAT process, isn't it? Yeah. And what's that again?
Not in education, employment or training.
Yeah, so they probably have very little money. They can't really invest in themselves. Yeah. So let's have a look right down this camera. Who do you need to help these people?
Okay, so people in local authorities who might be managers of the care team or managers of, I'm not sure what you would call your group, that supports needs in the community and helps to get them onto courses. Anyone there. In the learning disabilities team as well, though, you know, mild to moderate learning disabilities can join as well. Schools, head teachers, and pupil referral units, of course, which is where a lot of these young people, they drop out of school, they go to a pupil referral unit, and sometimes they disappear from there as well. So any organisation that works with young people, so YMCAs, foyers, any of those, if you're interested, then please contact me.
And we'll put Jacquie's details at the bottom of this interview. You want to check out Jacquie's talk that she did quite recently as well, because she gets really passionate in that talk, as you can imagine. And then there's people like entrepreneurs and employers who can support as well.
Yeah, so any individual can contribute towards a place for a young person, maybe a young person they know, or maybe just in general for us to assign that money to somebody who needs it. But also, if you're an entrepreneur or you're in management for an employer, then we're also looking for mentors who will just volunteer 1 hour of their time a week to talk to a young person on the phone, Skype, WhatsApp, I don't know. There's so many of them, isn't it? It's hard to remember them all. And just encourage them in their search for paid work and advise them accordingly.
Yeah. And I heard you say that you were massively inspired by George Benson and also Martin Luther King. So you have a couple of sayings there, don't you, you might want to share?
Yeah, well, Martin Luther King, of course, that incredible speech, I Have a Dream, which still makes me cry. As soon as I hear him say the first line, I'm like, blub, blub. Because, well, it so fits my own dream, which is, I mean, I want to see a world where it doesn't matter who you are, everyone gets treated with equal respect, and that nobody gets bullied because, you know, they've got the wrong skin colour or they're from the wrong part of town. And I know that's very idealist, but I really want to see a world where young people are given the resources, the incentives and the progression paths that they need to succeed, and are not able to just drop out of school but that somebody is there to pick them up. You know, we talk a lot in social care about safety nets, and we really, really need back some of the ones that we used to have. You know, a population the size of Bristol is how many young people are neat in this country.
It's a big city.
Are we really going to let that many fall through the net?
Yeah. And in the words of George Benson, that's because
the children are our future.
Exactly. I love the way that you say, but if you're not old enough, that's Whitney Houston.
Or Michael Jackson.
Or Michael Jackson, yeah. So what I love about you, Jaqui, is just that you are so passionate yourself. It sort of oozes out of you, you know, when you're talking about it, and just the way that you are. I love the fact that you are just you, uniquely you, amazing. And I mean, I'm kind of like, oh, I wish I was 16 or 18. I'd love to be on one of your courses. I bet it's
well, then you see,
good fun.
Then you see, I'd be saying, do you know what, Cheryl? You are fabulous.
Fabulous. Takes a mirror, darling. That's what Marion would say. So I love about you. I hope, you know, that people will come and, you know, connect with you to help those youngsters that need it, because they are our future. And particularly, you know, where we are right now, we're going to need, you know, the skills that these kids are going to be able to learn. They're going to feel, you know, like, well, they're just going to know that they're awesome, aren't they, when they've been with you. I just know that. And so I want to thank you so much, not only for being here today, because I know it's been a bit of a journey for you. Yeah, you had to ignite it about 4 o'clock this morning, I think, by the sounds of it. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of the you know, the young adults and all the work that you do, that you've done over all the years. Thank you. And you know, really, really just feel really grateful to have you in our lives. And you know, come on, get on with it. I feel like Bob Geldof. Just pick up the phone. It's probably the worst accent ever. I do apologise to anybody who's remotely. Yeah. I might just swear a bit more, you know, and just help the world that we live in right now. So thank you, Jaqui. If you want to connect with Jaqui, we've got some links underneath. And of course, remember, in the meantime, to live, love and laugh every day. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.